2 Peter 1:5. And besides this, giving all diligence. Okay, stop. Besides this, I never liked that phrase because it seems like he's talking about something different. You know, like you say, well, blah, blah, blah over here, and besides, blah, blah, blah. You know, so, and maybe that's just my mind. Maybe other people don't see it that way. But to me, I always saw it like he was kind of changing the subject a little bit. He's not. If you look this up in the Greek, and beside this, it means for this very thing or for this very reason. So, in other words, he's still talking about the same thing. So, if believing every promise by faith brings forward that divine nature, that new life, the new life in you is that Jesus fulfilled the Old Testament. Every promise is already fulfilled in you in the new nature. You already have the power to do everything God's asking you to do. So now when you believe these promises by faith, that power in your spirit comes forward into your life. And because so, you've escaped the corruption that's in the world through lust and sin. You're no longer a sinner because you believe now what God has told you, and the fulfilled life of Christ in you comes forward as you engage faith and you walk out a righteous, fulfilled life. Every promise is unfolding in your life. By faith, you've now escaped the law of sin and death, the corruption in the world through lust. So now when it says, and beside this, it said, and for this very reason. So he's still talking about partaking of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption in the world through lust, escaped the law of sin and death by walking righteous. For this very reason, give all diligence, add to your faith virtue. There's virtue again, which we saw before, which is a word called arete, A-R-E-T-E. And we're not really going to get into this. We'll get into this more later. But it is the opposite of the word malice, which is kakia. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I think it's K-A-K-I-A. So these are two different directions. Go in the direction of virtue or go in the direction of malice. So what he's saying is add to your faith virtue, meaning as a baby Christian, you want to go in the direction of righteousness, of virtue, of arete, and not go in the direction of malice, the direction of your old nature. And you'll see later in 2 Peter that there was a bunch of people teaching a bad gospel, and people that were escaped, that escaped this lustful life. They were re-engaging.